Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's wee Paddy from across the shuck, and I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it's a video I really like to make, and it's a video on my um, companies that have given me knives over this year, and it's a lot less than what people think. Um, but I've got some fantastic companies who one trust my channel to give an honest review on their knives. They don't ask me for anything at all other than just to give an honest opinion. And that is genuinely true. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter because I know. Not one of these companies has forced me to make videos, has asked me to do anything about them other than just give reviews. I can't tell you how much that helps a little small channel like mine. And when I say small, I have a small budget compared to a lot of other, knife brands out there. I now don't have any sponsorship from YouTube at all. I'm just on my own making videos. And I really just ask anybody that comes on and watches my videos to subscribe, maybe share it with your friends and watch the videos for me. Make comments. That's the sort of thing that keeps my channel going. Now, and I don't want to change that as such. I'm more than happy with what I've got. With my own money and what the money I make of some of the people that, some of the sponsors, I can't keep all the knives because one, they help my channel grow. And the first one I'm going to get into is Jack Wolf Knives. He is my main sponsor of this channel. Once a month, I get a superb high-end knife that I am totally grateful for. Totally grateful for. And do I promote him as often as I can? You bet I do. But not for what you're going to think. I sponsor him because, or he sponsors me, and I give as much as I can to him because his knives are absolutely fabulous. A little story. When he first started out and the knives came out and the price of the knives was the big contention, it was the only contention because people couldn't find a lot wrong with them other than they could find the price wrong. But as this year has gone past, this last 2 years, unknown makers, much like Ben was when he came about, they're coming in dearer than what Ben is for, a lock-in knife. Much dearer. These are harder to, personally, I believe to get these right, it's a lot more harder work. It really is. They're made in China. I could care less where they're made because the quality is what I want to promote to my loyal subscribers, that what you're getting for the money is worth that investment if you can afford it. And if you can't, don't worry. You can get one whenever you can. But I'm not forcing people into buying them. People are now buying these on their merit. On their merit. They are an amazing knife. And that's just genuine. I love them. Can I keep them all? No, I can't. Because they enable me to grow my channel and I buy lesser price knives most of the time when I sell them. And look, I've given them away. I have, I've sold them on my friends. It's been Justin. I would sell them him cheap. And I sell them to people, usually people who, when I sell them to, they're usually people that maybe can't afford it. And, I've a boy at the minute, he's bought two off me and he pays monthly. And I do that. I don't charge any more than 200 for anything that I'm selling on. That's it. I sell them for 200. I haven't sold a whole lot of them, but I have sold them and they've really helped my channel. Again, I'm a pensioner on a budget. I have a wee bit extra with a Navy pension that allows me to keep this hobby going. So Jack Wolf Knives, the major sponsor of this channel, I thank you, thank you, thank you. And I've told Ben so many times, he has now got staff and the staff are fantastic. And I thank them for being part of, his journey and mine because I've been there from the beginning. And I've got 3 knives of his out there just to let people see. This is the little Brojack. This is one of this year's, which is absolutely stunning. Look at that clip point. I just swoon every time I open this little knife up. It's just a bit bigger than a boy's knife, so it's a full 4-finger grip. Beautiful clip. S90 steel this year, or this year. And this is the newest one, which is the lock-in knife. I didn't like the first one. I made it quite clear. It wasn't for me. I didn't like it. I don't like front flippers. I'd sort of been used to the slip joints. And when the first iteration of this came out was on the sharpshooter pattern. And it just didn't do it for me. I thought, I hope it's not going to go down this route. I got this one this year. And Ben sent this out to me. And bearing in mind, they're not available in the UK this year. I mean, the locking ones aren't available. Framer doesn't sell locking knives. So, Ben has given them to me for my American subs, basically. And I just can't thank him enough for doing that. I have fallen completely in love with this one. Absolutely in love with it. I am not doing any more front flipping because I continually stab in here. You can see another wee stab I done the day before yesterday. So I don't even bother now. When you can do a knife like that, why would you need to bother? So fantastic knife. And there's one from last year that is still one of my favourite knives. So that big fat spear point, the dog leg, exaggerated dog leg, one of the most comfortable knives Ben has ever created. I adore this knife. And they all get used. Again, I don't overuse them because I don't overuse any knives really, so that's it. So that's the biggest one out of the way. Now, the rest of the sponsors I'm going to talk about now, I might only have single knives from them, but they're high-end knives, and I so appreciate that because some of them I just wouldn't be able to afford. And then I can't share with you because plenty of my subscribers can afford them. So why shouldn't I want to just please my subscribers and giving them every now and then a great high-end knife? I am lucky once a month I get one of these. And that's why it probably seems that I have a lot of sponsors. I don't. I really genuinely don't. I have got 2 sponsors that supply me with knives on a regular basis. A new one this year is Rosecraft Blades. They have been so generous with me, sent their knives, and they are amazing knives. And I love, if I didn't like them, you wouldn't see them on the channel. You wouldn't see them on the channel. So they're fantastic blades. But the nice thing that for me as a reviewer, I'm just going to blow my own bloody trumpet, right? Jack Wolf Knives, Rosecraft Blades, new companies with huge potential. And this is already, coming away. This is high potential. If I was to go on the comments that I got when they first came out, probably, I wouldn't be with them now because people just had so much in. But I believed in the product. I believe in this product every bit as much. I think it's fantastic. And I thank them so much for this year. They give me an awful lot of content. And you see, this is the other important thing. It's content. I don't follow the latest trends unless they're companies that are sponsoring me because I can't afford to. I just can't afford to keep up with all the local trends with Savivis and all these different brands that, I've maybe had 1 or 2 off, but that's it. I can't afford to keep up with them. And sort of to go back to companies that have sponsored me in the past, I thank you because I wouldn't have got through to where I am now if them companies, and there were lesser priced knives. Ganzo. I still have 4 Ganzos left in my collection that I won't get rid of. This is it's the looky like a PM2, but a PM2 hasn't got an axis lock. It's smaller, it's chamfered better, it's more comfortable in the hand than a PM2 for extended use, and I challenge anybody to go and test that out. It's got a lovely forward choil here. It is 440C blade for an EDC knife. That's fantastic. That's enough. It's not all you might want, but it's enough. Let me tell you, learn how to sharpen. This sharpens and strops, and it's stayed. 4 of them have stayed in my collection. And I got Ganzo was my first knife that I reviewed, so that's nearly 7 years of Ganzo in my collection, and I still bring them out every now and then because they're still every bit as much great value than they were when I got them. And they sponsored me for donkeys a few years, and I had so many knives from them. Another company that I can't say enough about is Arthur Wright & Son. I haven't got any of them out there, but I don't get sponsored by Arthur Wright & Son. When I get my custom knives from Ashley, he does take a few quid off them. I usually get them a little bit cheaper than what you're going to get. And it's not a whole lot, but it's enough that makes a big difference to my pocket. And I thank Ashley and his father, Michael, at Arthur Wright & Sons. I promote their knives, one, because they're just flipping great. They're made in the old-fashioned way, and much more than even a GEC's made. These are made in the old-fashioned way, completely. And they don't have as much modern machinery that GEC would have now. But these are these are lesser materials, but they're still a perfectly good EDC knife. And another company this year that, that I'm really thankful is supplied knives to my channel is Twisted Assisted, and he got Arthur Wright to make these in micarta handles. This is burlap micarta, and there's a plain micarta in there in the drawer. Again, clip points are my thing, so I'm just going to show clip point. Look at that. Is that not a gorgeous knife? Nice bulbous end on it, which makes it so comfortable in the hand. Full 4-finger grip on my large hand. I love it. Absolutely adore it. So Twisted Assist is another one this year that's come along. Oh, Arthur, I did have, there's an Ashley one there. I'm looking at that. It looks really lovely. This is an Ashley. This is a Senator pattern. Look at that for a beautiful piece of stag. Look how well that stag is matched. And like that is raw stag there. It is stunning with a lamb's foot blade, which is more popular over here in the UK, but it's definitely getting over there to the States and other countries now through Arthur Wright. This is traditionally made. It is stunning. This is made by Ashley, so we get the upgraded steel to 01 tool steel instead of C70. Fantastic. Absolutely love it. Now, another company that this is the second knife they've sent me in the 7 years I've been doing it. The first one cost about £600, which was way above anything I could ever afford at that time. And they sent me another one this year. And this one is £1,450, which is way above anything I could afford. But they give it to me and I promote them and I show it as often as I can. Look at that blade steel. Oh, honestly. And this is a powdered metal blade steel. This is a great user. I know you're going to laugh at me, but you see if you're going somewhere posh, this is a great user. This will do anything you want it to do. It's a powdered metal steel, so you're going to have the edge retention. Whereas some of the Damascus blades, this is Domo steel, but the Damascus blades, you wouldn't want to use them. This is fantastic. The heat treat on it is lovely. Damascus on the scales there. Beautiful fine milling of this titanium and one of the best pocket clips on the market. Very similar to the Jack Wolf, actually. There you go. Long, skinny clip. I adore long, skinny clips. But this is a most beautiful. This is a lock-in knife, and it just is gorgeous. So this is Herman Knives as a designer. It's from Polish Custom Knives. Get over and check them out. There's not just Herman there. He has lots of other custom makers that he sells through his shop. Fantastic. I can't thank him enough because for high end, to give again this little channel, and I'll still give them, and I have people in my channel who can afford this, but it's still a risk giving it to a channel like mine, you know, a small channel. So I can't thank them enough at Polish Custom Knives and Herman, who makes an amazing CNC product. It is just gorgeous. He is a master tradesman. So there you go. And there's another one, Dan from Blade Bridge. Dan often throws a wee knife my way, or he'll give me them at a very reasonable price. This is a German copy of a Swiss Army knife, which I adore this one. I really, really do love it. It's got the nice long corkscrew there, the 5-ring instead of 4, which you get on most. It has a gorgeous blade on it, which I think is more like the Wenger blades. I love the blade on this, really do like it. But it's a really well-made knife, and you know, it competes in my head to any Swiss Army knife. Not, again, they are fantastic knives, but it's nice to have just a wee difference for its comparison. So Dan gets me knives and he sells me at a reasonable price, which I love, and he usually takes a few quid off, and it helps the channel. And we help each other. I would send him me knives too, but he's just a genuine person that helps the channel. And some of these people don't know how much they mean to the channel. And then we're going to leave this as the last because I only got this a couple of days ago. Boy, am I happy with this knife. And this is an expensive pocket tool. Yeah, there you go. It's expensive. It's in S45 VN blade steel, which is fantastic. All the tools are made of that. Heat treated, absolutely fantastic. This has the most beautiful and useful blade on it. A high saber grind in 440 S45 VN, a spear point and a real sharp spear point. So, and it's got a bit of belly and it's got a bit of straight. So this does everything. This is what you want in an EDC knife. And this isn't like a Victorinox. This is a proper EDC knife. And I know the only thing I've got to compare to is Victorinox because they are an amazing company. But this is, and it's not a high end version of a Victorinox. It's different. This is an interchangeable, which what everybody always asks about, an interchangeable tools. Now, there's not a huge amount at the minute, but there is a few different tools. There's range finders, all sorts of tools at the minute that are available. And you just take out, it's modular. You can go from 2 to 4. Absolutely stunning. I love this. I have the scraper on this one. This is a Jefferson. I have a scraper and then I have a bottle opener screwdriver on the other end, which I'm going to change that out. Might get, they've got a small blade coming. I might get the little small blade just to have a little bit extra. But and absolutely, does it sound like any of my locking knives? No, this is a tool. This is a tool, and look at that they put on for me. I just think that made this knife. And look, I get comments. Oh, you're going to that foul mouth, Greg, or that's too expensive for that knife. Do you want to know something? Innovation isn't cheap. To get started on making high end knives is not cheap. To get started and even making friendly place knives is not cheap. But this company, Greg has made his mark. Yes, you either like him or you don't like him. That's it. But I don't buy his knives because of Greg. I buy his knives because I had bought one of his knives years ago, the Mini Murata, and it was amazing. One of the best knives I ever had. This is the first one. Greg sent me this, the company Greg and all those there that are there, Jeff, Big Jeff, and Ghost Malone sort of led it all, and he set it all up for me. And they sent me this free of charge. As I get all of these on the table, free of charge. I adore it, and I can't wait for the innovation to get better. And people are saying it's dear. Let me tell you, the way things go in life, they'll be dearer next year. And then people will, when they realise how good they are, people want to buy them. Now I've got this model, I can buy everything I want for this. New scales, I can buy new tools, and some of the tools are, 50 quid or under 50 quid, some of them, I believe. And a bit dearer as you go up, and maybe you can get Magna Cut blades if you want. I mean, the ones they're selling on Heine, you're getting Magna Cut blades on them at 222 they are. £222. Fantastic. It's innovation, and it will only get better the more tools he brings online. And Greg doesn't do things by half. This will be a long-term project for him, and eventually I believe it's going to be the best on the market for tools. And the modular system he's got now is fantastic. But he'll not rest on his laurels. Much like Jack Wolf Knives, much like Rosecraft, they don't want to rest on their laurels. They want to get better. And that's the thing that gets me. Arthur Wright have changed, Michael and Ashley have changed Arthur Wright around. They're now a company where people want their knives. A British knife maker, made in traditional ways, and their basic ones are made with traditional steels like C70 and their basic stainless. And they're absolutely fine. They're absolutely fine. They are a great EDC. Learn how to sharpen is all I would say. Strop. Learn how to strop. Any knife that's on this table can be stropped and kept good for longer, where you don't have to take off metal. So, to my sponsors, you're such a huge part of my channel. And for those that have maybe missed out and I don't have on there, and those that have had in the past, every single one of you has helped my channel get to where it is now, to where I have a lot of freedom about what I show. So that's what sort of 1, 2, 3. I have 3 main sponsors that provide me. No, I mean, this is just a new sponsor, and this is a one-off sponsor. So these are my 2 main sponsors, Rosecraft and Jack Wolf Knife, completely different price range, along with the Arthur Wrights, some that Dan gave me, and my Medfords, and my Ashley Harrison. But these 2 give me the most. So I don't have a lot. That that is it. I don't have a lot of sponsors, but what I've got are good. And that's why I show them more on the channel. You don't see them one week and then by, the end of the week or the next week they're gone. You don't see them again. These are knives that are good to go, to keep. Or I wouldn't have them. They'd just be gone like a lot of the other sponsors. Once they change things around, like Ganzo went to D2 and took away the axis lock. I lost interest in them. There was better blade steel coming out. Yeah. But it wasn't for me. Blade steel should never be a thing when you're buying a knife. And it's just got to be a blade steel you want. I'm not saying it shouldn't be a thing. It is, because we buy more expensive knives for it, and we expect better blade steel, obviously. But the blade steel, if you like the look of a knife, the blade steel shouldn't matter. And it doesn't matter as long as you can sharpen. And this year we're doing plenty of sharpening, starting next week. It'll start next week. I bought a stone that I've been led to lead by somebody who I trust, Outdoor 55, and he's given me, it's a Sharpening stone, it's 1,000 grit, and he reckons, well, you should never leave your knife go blunt anyway, but he reckons, you know, as long as you look after your knife, basically, this 1,000 grit Hano Kuromaku, I got it on Amazon, which is where he recommended. It's a Sharpening one, it's a hard stone, but it's a splash and go. You don't have to soak it down. It's a splash and go, and away you go. So that's starting next week. And for all these knives here, I'm going to start off testing basic 440. No, I'll probably test, which is about as low as I go, which is the old timer 7CR17. I'll start with that. That'll be the first knife I'll sharpen. And then I'm going to go right through the progression of all the knives up until my hardest one at the moment, which is S90V at the moment. I believe that is the hardest one I've got. And I'm going to see if this stone does everything, or has it got limits. But there we go. That's the joy of this, having a channel and being able to do that sort of thing. And if it helps you, it helps you. So again, sponsors, and let's be honest, my biggest sponsors of all are my YouTube subscribers. You are amazing. I want to thank you for another fantastic year. It's been amazing this year. Lots of up and downs in my personal life, but that's the same as most people. But without yous, I wouldn't have got through it. And I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. So for all the supporters of the channel, be they giving me knives or just your support, Merry, Merry Christmas. And prayers to you all. And I thank you so much for giving me a great year. And I'm just looking forward to next year with joy in my little heart. Right, that's sloppiness over. Get off of here. You've got better things to do. Bye-bye now. Love you, Patty.